Angela Larry Dogo, also known as Mrs. G. I am a teacher, I am a mother, and I am an artist. I'm actually a graphic artist by profession, and then a turned teacher on the road to destiny. I am the proprietress of the Kindle School, Kaduna. I have lived in Abuja for about 15 years, and I worked with the first and the best British school in Abuja. That's the Regent School in Abuja. I have gained lots of experiences because I've worked under the early years department, I've worked in the lower primary department, and I've worked also in the upper primary department. So that is where I got my wealth of experience. But I spent more time in the primary years department, and that gives me a strength, you know, above the others. I have strength in primary years education and all that. But of course, because of my experience, I've at least spent about 1.5 years in the early years setting, and that has opened my eyes and enlightened me to a lot of things pertaining the little ones from 1 to 5 years. Okay, my Kindle story. They say a journey of a mile begins with a step, and that's the step I've taken to be able to carry this vision from wherever it started from and where we are right now. It has been, yeah, quite challenging with lots to learn. And you know, it just started by me relocating from Abuja. I never wanted to leave Abuja, and something came up that I had to come all the way back to Kaduna. For me, I kept thinking, how would it be in Kaduna? Because Kaduna is not, I mean, I don't really know places in Kaduna. I know people, but I don't really know how to connect in Kaduna. But I still took the bold step, and I came to Kaduna. And then coming to Kaduna, I thought to myself, what am I going to do? Because I looked for just a job to keep body and soul together, but things did not really add up for me. So I now thought about it. I'm like, come to think of it, you are trained both home and abroad. You have lots to pour out there. And then I sat down and I thought of the young, you know, graduates coming out there. I said, with this form of education that I have learned, why not pour it into these young ones so that you can change their thinking? Because it's all about change, positive change to be specific, you know. And then by the time I thought of that change, I had to go all the way to look for young men and young ladies that are ready to embrace that change, to tell them, you know what, there's something new I would love you to learn. And then to my greatest surprise, a lot of them embraced it. And though it took a lot of hard work, you know, and commitment for us to get to this level and all that, but a lot of them embraced it and then worked with it. Now, Kindle as a school started way back in February 2013. I started February 2013, and then it was not Kindle then, it was called Kaduna Preparatory School. Being a novice in the area of business, I just thought when you wake up, you just give a name and then you carry on. I didn't think about Corporate Affairs Commission and all that. So in the course of the journey, of course, I worked with my friend, Mr. Bastoni. We had to work together, and then before you knew it, we registered. And then when we went to register, in fact, they were like, excuse me, somebody else had registered. We opened the same time. It's actually in the north, the Kaduna Preparatory School. So I had to change because I had the K in my name. That's Kaduna. I thought of using a word with K in it, you know, because then we tagged the school KPS, that's Kaduna Preparatory School. So over time we changed to Kaduna Prep School. And then in the course of registering the prep, a friend met me and said, why limit yourself to Kaduna? Don't you think you can spread abroad, you know, and all that? And that was what made me change my mind. Say, you know what? And then we worked with Mr. Bastoni, that's Mr. Raymond Bastoni. We worked with him to be able to bring up the name.
I came up with the word Kindle. And from the beginning, Kindle started from a wedding in Zaria, some 2 years or 3 years before Kindle actually materialized. We met and we were talking about starting a school together in Zaria, but somehow the other one, it didn't materialize until we all got to Kaduna. And she calls me up one day, that is the owner of the school calls me up and says, I think I want to start this. can you help me? It was initially Kaduna Prep School, but it seems the name was taken at the time, so we forced to come up with a new name. So I thought to myself, I said, when you're dealing with kids, you're striking and lighting a match. So we're kindling something. So that's where the name Kindle came from. And I've been part of that family that runs this school and owns this school for as long as I can remember. I'm sure since primary school days or something. So.
And then when you start a fire, of course, the kind of fire I am carrying, when you start it, it cannot quench. So I now stuck to the name Kindle. And then my husband was like, instead of course, I now brought it to Kindle Prep School. He was like, what is the prep in it? Why not just name it the Kindle School? I was like, well, you know what? It sounds very simple. I think I would stick to that. And I've stuck to that. And that is what has brought us. At the beginning, I thought it was easy. It's not just a classroom, table, chair, and then we move on. But I discovered that I was carrying, the passion, the spirit of excellence, and professionalism was more than what I thought. When I came back to Kaduna, I went round and looked at other schools, but apparently I noticed something was missing. One, the spirit of excellence. Two, professionalism. And those were the things I carried from Abuja to bring here.
My name is Christopher Auta. Since we know the proprietress and the high standards she has, so when the school started, we felt our kids have to be here.
Mrs. Adefarasi, popularly called Demilade's mom. We got to come to this school because Mrs. G, that's the proprietress, met my husband and the kids and the children at a supermarket, and she handed her the flyer for the school. That was when the school was about to start, and my husband got convinced because of the way she spoke. She said her experience and everything, and he liked it, and he said, got home and said, Madam, let's go, I need to show you somewhere. So we came down here, we had discussion, and that was how we got into Kindle.
My name is Ayeni Olushe. Our Kindle experience, we came to Kindle's I believe at the very beginning, because I believe, if I'm very right, my daughter was just barely 2 when we came, and she's 7 now. So we came to Kindle's at the very beginning, and when we came to Kindle's, we were looking for a school that will be able to take care, that will have flexibility in time, and at the same time that will be able to get the very best that we're looking for. And we came around, we were introduced to the school by Mrs. Lovely Zachary, and we came around for more like an inspection that day. And I could recollect that the very first day we came, our little girl then, Oluwani Femi, we went around with her and Mrs. G, of course, and when it was time for us to leave, she blandly refused to leave, and it was as if she should just start from then, and that was the beginning of this love story with Kindle School.
And then I looked at the manpower, that's the human resources. First of all, it was not easy to get people that would understand what you have to give to them, because they looked at teaching as the contemporary method of teaching and did not want to explore further, So what I brought would make them spread their tentacles and gain more, be more professional and be more trained and be more enlightened. And a lot of them were kind of scared to sign up for it, because how the society has been. A lot of people are laid back. We have to prompt people to be hardworking. Thank God we've reached a level right now where I can at least beat my chest and say, truly, God has been faithful, and He has given us people that have agreed to run with our vision.
And because of the good things they say about our kids, I think me and my wife have been able to convince some parents, I think up to 4 parents.
One of the good experiences we've had in Kindle is the fact that Kindle laid emphasis on phonics. That's the diction and everything. And And one of the things they usually say is that they're not going to do much advert, but their product will speak for them. My son happened to be one of the people that I'm proud of today as a result of the background and the foundation he got in Kindle School.
Another thing is maybe because it's the curriculum and the assessment of the children is something that I appreciate.
That was the wow factor for me, you know, bringing up children from a different background and then putting it together to give them a very good package of the British curriculum was awesome. Now, there's something I do. Anytime I employ a staff, I try to send them on internship in Abuja, in a sister school in Abuja, the Kindle School to be specific. Then I got this particular staff, Mrs. Love Gabriel. Mrs. Love Gabriel went for internship in Kindle School, and then when she came back, it changed everything about her. You know, she became so passionate about education. And then she told me, Mrs. G, you know what? These children, I know they're a lot younger, but you will be amazed what they will know at the end of this particular test we're going to run. Because in the Kindle School, it will amaze you to know that a child starts reading in nursery. Nursery is 3 turning 5. It will amaze you, not just reading, they are so clever, it's incredible. Because when it came, I thought, school, is it not table, chair and everything? I never knew that it was more to it that met the eye. You know, I keep recalling what my proprietress told me when I told her I was going to start a nursery. She said in Hausa, Angela, amana faza abaiki, amana yarani, ensure you take care of them and all that, because they'll be looking up to you for one thing or the other, believing in you, trusting in you and focusing in you. So would you actually take care of them and all that? So for me, anytime I go, I now sit down and like, you know what, I keep remembering. I remember what Mrs. Abdurazak told me, you know, and I sit down like, you know what, Angela, you can't do anything. You just have to face it and find a way to solve this children's problem. So I mean, another challenge I forgot to talk about is the issue of parents. You know, it's not easy to deal with parents. You know, every child is every parent's most precious possession. You know, it doesn't matter how the child is, but parents need to understand that, you know, there is more to it than just blaming the individuals most of the time. I tell my staff one thing: we're going to look outwards. What's happening if a child has a problem? We look at 3 ways. What's happening at the home front? What about inwards? You as the staff, what have you done wrong? You know, so as a school, again, you know, what are we putting together to ensure that we solve this problem? So that's why in Kindle School, one child's problem is everybody's problem. Every hand is on deck. And then there's what we call parental involvement. We encourage it as much as possible, you know, because it's funny, you know, how some parents think in Kaduna. They think, oh, we've paid the money, you do the magic. But they don't know that that magic must be 3 hands on deck: the child, the school, and the parents themselves.
So I want to thank all the staff, and especially the proprietress, for the good work they've been doing.
We sincerely wish Kindle School beautiful years ahead and prosperous years ahead.
As the Club 5, we wish them all the best, and we pray that they will go from strength to strength.
My name is Donald Ifeanyi Mora. On behalf of the PTA, we would like to wish the Kindle School a happy 5th anniversary. Hooray! Yes! The Kindle is 5 years, and this is an opportunity for me to use this medium to encourage every parent to put all hands on deck and let's see how to make Kindle that great school, that beauty that we want Kindle to become. I have great desires for Kindle. We like to see Kindle get to their permanent site. We like to see Kindle become that great brand in terms of school. We already know that the Kindle is already a tech brand, but we like to make Kindle the great school for every parent to want his child to come. Hooray! We wish Kindle all the best. Thank you.
The next 5 years, I'm sure when you come over, you wouldn't recognize us again. We would have gone up there When I say up there, I mean very up there, you know, because the vision is not for here. Let me put it that way.